Picking the perfect PC case can be a right nightmare. With so many options available, how do you make sure you pick one with a good amount of airflow, great usability features for an easy build process, and just good build quality in general? Well, in this video, I'll be splitting apart the good PC cases from the bad and recommending our 10 favourites based on more than 60 cases through our doors here in the studio so far this year. Let's do this. Ebuyer.com are your one-stop shop for all your PC hardware needs over in the UK, with loads of deals on a wide range of components, including new GPUs and these new Intel 13th Gen processors. There's loads to choose from. You can supercharge your setup with some new peripherals, or grab yourself a new PC from their in-house system builder AlphaSync. Check out all the latest tech deals at the first link below. The way I'm going to structure this video is by starting with the budget cases and getting progressively more expensive. You can use the timestamp bar below to navigate to your favourite section, or hopefully just watch the whole thing. Now, in terms of budget cases, I've picked out 3 chassis that fit the bill. The first is Cooler Master's brand new CMP 520. Although this case feels very OEM, it doesn't feel anything special. It's got a nice polygon mesh design at the front, a couple of included fans, and supports the major motherboard form factors. All of the cases in the first part of this video will support either micro ATX, full-size ATX motherboards, or both. For a budget build, airflow is crucial, especially because your other components like CPU coolers and your GPU might not be the most beefy cooling solutions out there, meaning having plenty of airflow through the chassis is a useful addition. With a tempered glass side panel, an integrated power supply shield, and a strong front I/O that gives you USB 3, your HD audio, and all the other bits and bobs you're used to, it fits the bill. Build quality is good too, all the panels feel pretty strong and sturdy, and for a budget case, you can't go too far wrong. Another great recommendation would be Kolink Citadel Mesh. I'll link international links for all products mentioned at Amazon down below, and price and availability will vary by region. You can get this with an RGB or a non-RGB variant with tempered glass or mesh at the front. Airflow is very good, the build form factor's nice, and it even includes a vertical GPU mount. This is a smaller case as well, only supporting micro ATX motherboards, but that's not going to matter too much for the most affordable build types out there, as the M-ATX motherboard form factor is often cheaper anyway. My final budget recommendation would be Cooler Master's TD300 Mesh. Honey, I shrunk the TD500 Mesh and accidentally made a really great budget case. Build quality is great, RGB fans are included, and of course they're 120mm, giving nice amounts of airflow. Build quality feels solid too, with an integrated power supply shield and a shortened tempered glass side panel. The I/O is good, and the case is easy to build in, with rubber grommets, nice cable routing options, and generally just a really, really nice build experience. But what if you want something that costs just a little bit more money? You're feeling like you've got some dough to burn on a nicer PC case, or just want something with a nicer feature set, better aesthetic, and easier build process? Well, let's take a look, shall we, at my favourite mid-range choices, starting with this, NZXT's brand new H5 series. Now, this is the H5 Elite, meaning you've got tempered glass at the front here, with airflow down the rear side, you can just see there. You also get their nice RGB fans as standard, 220mm at the front, though no 120mm is included at the back, you'll have to add that yourself. One thing that makes it really innovative though for my list today is this, a fan at the bottom which actually blows in air up to the GPU. That's right, it's got a dedicated GPU fan that doesn't look rubbish. Cooler Master have attempted this before, and it looks a bit naff really. This is really well integrated into the actual plastic moulding and design of the case, and does a good job of minimising temperatures. Plus, this chassis also supports an RTX 4090. Not necessarily recommending it, but a successor to the NZXT H510 lineup, and the new H5 series definitely deserves my plaudits. Tempered glass, toolless design, easy to build in, great cable management runs, ticks a lot of boxes. There are plenty of other good mid-range options too though. Cooler Master's TD500 Mesh, the bigger brother version of the TD300, is a good shout, but perhaps a better bet is Corsair's 4000 series. Corsair and NZXT have followed the same sort of idea. The tooling to make a PC case is quite expensive. You've got to spend, $30,000-$40,000 to get that tool to actually give you the basic design, so they do different versions to extrapolate more cases from the same tooling. That's why you've got the H5 Elite, non-Elite, and the 4000D. Airflow Airflow and IQ4000X. Fundamentally the same case, they've just got different front panels and fan arrangements. The 4000X IQ version would be my preferred option until recently because the tempered glass looks nicer, you get RGB fans which are normally quite expensive on their own, and of course strong support for liquid cooling, air cooling, GPUs, power supply shield. It just ticks all the necessary boxes. But then Corsair went and one-upped themselves and basically combined the IQ4000X with all its RGB with the 4000D with its ventilation and lack of RGB to make the best case baby I've ever seen. And that is the 4000D QL edition. They added in their QL fans, which are normally their priciest fan type, basically painted the whole case white, though the black version is available, and that will then combine the best of RGB and Corsair IQ with an integrated controller and the airflow version of the case. I do like tempered glass, but I think for keeping your temperatures low and being able to actually reduce fan speeds to reduce the audible noise, airflow is a bit better, and that's why I'd prefer that to this H5 Elite. It is a more noisy case despite its extra 3 fans at the front, given of course that airflow, while sufficient, is more restrained. Corsair then, lots of options, but their 4000D airflow, best for temperatures, IQ4000X, best for aesthetics, and the 4000D QL edition, the best all-rounder if you've got some extra cash to spend. But what if you've got even more money? James, I don't want a budget case, I don't want this, it's too cheap for me, give me something nicer, or I want more radiators, more graphics cards, a 4090, I'm kind of losing it here, but I'm going to jump into the high-end options, starting with NZXT's H7 series. Now, it's safe to say, NZXT have been on a roll this year. Like, I think they've released more products than other case brands, and the H7 is no exception. You've got the H7, the H7 Flow, and the H7 Elite. The Elite is glass with RGB, the Flow is non-RGB with mesh, and the normal H7, bit boring. Not going to recommend that, it's the Elite or the Flow for me. You also get 3 colorways. You've got black, white, and white and black, meaning you can get, like this, a totally all-white case design, and we've been so impressed. Loads of radiator support, 3 140mm fans at the front, a completely toolless design where you can remove all the side panels without using a single screw. It is fantastic. The only downside I can see really to this case is that it doesn't support extended ATX motherboards, otherwise known as ATX. Now, a year or so ago, that wouldn't have been a problem because only real kind of enthusiast AMD EPYC, Threadripper, Xeon builds would have used an ATX board. But now, increasingly with Ryzen 7000 in particular, a lot of the X670E designs are eATX. Not so much of an issue with Intel's 13th gen, which is a better processor lineup anyway, but you do have to be very careful with all these new options in terms of hardware and how existing cases support them, or for that fact, don't. I can also easily recommend Lee & Lee's O11D series. The O11D Mini is a personal favourite of mine, though they also have an Airflow and an Evo version. There's like a Razer edition. The O11D Mini, though, for me, wins out above all because it's not too big. Although it's a high-end chassis, it's not absolutely massive. I'm fed up of cases just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, often with no reason to be quite so large. So coming in as my second high-end option is the O11D series. Now, a moment ago, literally 5 seconds ago, I said that cases were getting annoyingly larger and larger, and I'm about to declare myself a massive hypocrite. Because look at this! This is the Cooler Master HAF 700 Evo, and it's about as big as a PC case gets. But Cooler Master have done a phenomenal job. It supports 2 motherboards. Yes, you can have 2 PCs in this case if you have a power supply that can somehow power 2 PCs. You've also got these really cool kind of glass shard acrylic pieces. I'm not sure, I think they're glass at the front, which are addressable RGB. It's got a display, loads of fan mounting support. You can fit, I think you can fit 6 120s at the top because they actually go double stacked wide. It just makes good use of this large amount of space it has available. And if you're looking for the best of the best, this thing's worth considering. They recently released the HAF 700 non-Evo, which is cheaper, thankfully, because it's quite expensive, and slims down the features. Gets rid of the RGB on the glass shards at the front, gets rid of the screen, but retains the solid base the HAF 700 brings. But what about if none of these cases are quite for you? Which brings me on to our honourable mentions and small form factor choices. Cooler Master's NR200P and their updated NR200P Max retains the top spot for me in terms of mini ITX support, allowing for room for triple slot graphics cards, potentially even some of the smaller 4090 and upcoming 4080 designs. It's also a case that's a little bit different, like our final 2 chassis today, our special mentions. If you're looking for something truly unique that's going to set your build apart from everybody else's, then Thermaltake's new Core P3 Pro is an awesome choice. It's open framed, meaning you want to keep animals, children, or any other non-PC savvy human beings away from the the front panel. That could be painful, but it's just something a bit different. You can even VESA mount it, so you can put it on like a TV arm on the wall, like some sort of elaborate gaming picture frame. And if you want something that's going to set your build apart from everybody else's, it's certainly a case you should consider. Finally, I also can't wrap this roundup up without talking about HYTE's Y60, and it's the only chassis on the list we haven't had hands-on with, hence I didn't pop it in one of the previous categories. It's a case I'm going to basically order immediately. I've seen so much about this online, so many people have been saying how good it is. I've seen build videos. We're a bit late to the party, but I'm intrigued to take a look, and I'm sure there's loads of reviews out there. If this is a case you like the look of, do some Googling, go and support some of the creators and see what their thoughts are on the HYTE Y60. As always, I'll leave links to these cases at the affiliate links down below for latest pricing and availability. What's your favourite case? Let me know in the comments and we'll all compare notes. Thanks for tuning in. Get subscribed to see more from my face for whatever reason. And as always, see you in the next one.